And there she is, Miss Lynn.
Mine didn't record. I don't know how to use this new phone.
All right, we'll do it again.
All right, this was my first costume. Look, it still fits. Oh yeah, I'm so excited for that.
Practice your speech.
Well, I'm gonna do a speech like Sandy did.
I'm gonna make it.
Come on in, everybody. Close the back door. Keep the air in.
Whatever you do, don't ask for the Yankees,
What? Oh.
because they were eliminated.
Oh, they were? I didn't know that.
Yep.
When? We're backstage before the big show, and I'm so excited. I'm going to see people I haven't seen in years. Everyone's so old now, but everyone looks great. And I want to thank my family for helping me, and this is going to be a fabulous party. Okay.
I had to buy new shoes, and then I had to have, so I can't point my.
But I'm not having to show you repetition.
I had both of them.
Joyce is hiding in the desk. Yes. You want to hang up your jacket? No, I can. Here, just be short. We did it. You know Joyce and Liz. In about 15 minutes, but if you haven't signed in the memory book, and you can take pictures in front of the repeat and sign.
Just like we can, and you can wave.
Yeah.
said, Rose and Taylor are hot. You can start with those. The family up soon. We're just waiting for a few more people to show up. Enjoy yourself, guys.
wireless, so you could move out, you could go as far as you want.
Of Bayshore Academy of Dance. I'm so excited. I can't tell you how excited. I've been planning this for almost 5 years. And many of you traveled from distances to get here, and I really appreciate it. And everyone looks wonderful. But we really did need the name tags because people look a little different. Everyone got a little older, but you all look fabulous. So we want to make sure to keep the back door closed so the air stays in. I was told not to ask about the Yankees score. But, you know, I wrote a few notes so I wouldn't forget anything. I'd like the people from, oh yeah, later take pictures in front of the repeat board, and there's a memory book to sign, and there's props. We brought the cow from Gypsy. What else was I going to do with it? I couldn't move with most of the props, but Lee said, take the cow. So there's the cow and top hats and canes. I'd like the original students to stand up from 1979. Everyone that was with the studio the first year, please stand up. Now, all the 1979 people. So what, you're still family. And then we have many teachers here today. Let's have the teachers stand up. All the teachers. Now, in loving memory, two people can't be here today. Well, you know Mr. Lynn, and we have the tribute to him over there. And I even had the bow tie and cummerbund in my drawer. I saved it. The red one we gave to his best friend Howie. Howie wanted the red one, but we have it over there. And I don't know if you know or not, but my mother passed away on October 19th, which was Yom Kippur. And she's not here today, but she came to 65 dance recitals, more than anybody. And she loved being in the shows, and she was the receptionist, and then Papa, he was named Papa from the year we did Gypsy. The first time we did Gypsy, we did it twice. Grease was 3 times. Let me see what else I wanted to say. I told you about the memory book, and we announced the teachers, and I want to thank my family. Lee put everything on Facebook, because I'm not on Facebook, I don't text, I don't email, and I still have a flip phone. So Lee did all that stuff for me. And here's Lawrence, who was in most of the shows, and my nephew Scott. They all came to help, so I want to thank my family. And Lori wasn't feeling well, and I'm really sorry she's not here. What'd you say? I think the best way to do this is to call you up by tables to eat, so there's not a full crowd, but there's rolls. Probably cold by now. All right, so let's have this table come up first, because these people, it seems, they were with us the original years. I really am so oh wait, one other thing. If anyone would like to say anything with the mic, let me know, and you can recall a favorite memory or something you would like to say about your wonderful years at Bayshore Academy of Dance. So maybe we'll do that a little later. All right, up with the curtain.
Everybody having a good time?
What's the playbook? It's called This is too much.
It's good to get everybody chewing, of course, is always the best way to do everything.
Wonderful 40th anniversary if we have each table come up and take a picture. But before we do that, because people are still eating, how about if anyone would like to take the floor and the mic and tell a funny story or memory or something they would like to say about their time at Bayshore Academy of Dance. I know there's so many memories and stories. Miss Barbara, would you like to be first? Well, I'm better at posing than speaking. In fact, at my mother's funeral, after my sister went first, and then I got up to talk about my mother, and I said, well, I didn't write mine down like my sister, but I'm better at posing, and everyone laughed. But, all right, here's Miss Barbara.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to start by saying I came down from the Adirondack Mountains, which is a 5.5-hour drive away, because that's where I'm living now, in Saranac Lake. And it was a beautiful ride, because the mountains are all gold, the leaves are all gold. and I have plenty of time to think about. I wanted to say something, because we may not have a gathering like this again. I was thinking about certain situations that happened during class. Then I figured if I say one, like if I talk about Taylor, then then I would maybe have to talk about Emily or Lee, which I remember Lee. I had at 3 years old in a baby class with a boa, with a pink boa. Lee, do you remember that one?
Me? No, I was her teacher when she was 3. You didn't have Lee.
I had her for 1 year, Miss Lynn.
No, I filled in.
1 year?
No, I filled in. The girl was absent, and I filled in.
Oh, so you filled in?
And you were never her teacher.
Oh, okay. I remember I had you with a pink boa.
Because I filled in. No one was over the job. They said the contract.
So, first thing I wanted to say was thank you to all of the students. You made my day at Bayshore a dream. Every single day I loved coming to class. There was never a day that I didn't enjoy teaching. And some of you only had once a week, but I hoped that I gave you an experience about what dance was, musicality, rhythm, expression, all those things. And we had fun in class, but I thought we also learned. So thank every single one of you, because it was such a pleasure. You worked so hard. You did everything I asked you to do to the best that you could. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all those years I had you. And then the second thing was to thank Miss Lynn. I think I was trying to remember Adina, I think was the one who told me that Bayshore Academy needed a dance teacher. So I drove all the way down, which is a little bit of a drive from where I lived at the time. And funny, Lynn, I don't know, I was thinking back and forth, should I say
think it was
this?
Adina Feldman. Was it Adina Feldman?
Adina Feldman, right? She was moving to Israel, actually. So what I remember, and I was thinking was, what I remembered about that interview was you said to me, well, I only celebrate the Jewish holidays. So if you work here, you have to realize that we're going to be celebrating the Jewish holidays.
Maybe because Adina was.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's so funny, but of all the things we talked about, that's what stuck out in my head. I was trying to think what I've been saying. But, the other thing was, I think Miss Lynn had a wonderful business. Always a clean studio, always concerned about what was going on in the studio, about the parents, about the girls, always 100%. Always concerned about what was going on, So it was really easy for me to teach there. She let me go in, she let me teach whatever I wanted to teach, however I wanted to teach. She would have no complaints. Oh, two complaints I remember. One was if I didn't let the class out in time. She would send somebody in. Barbara, it's 5:30. Miss Barbara, it's 5:30, class is over. So that was one. And the other thing that was costumes, because I always took so long to decide on costumes. She would get out of me. But the thing is this, any of you that are in the arts, you have a concept in your head about, or even a paper, or even a painting. You have this concept in your head about what you want to do, and then you're trying to bring it forward with a group of young students, and the costumes don't always line up with your vision. So that's why it always was a little hard for me to decide on costumes. And I always wanted to make you happy. I tried, although I see some of my lime green costumes were not so successful. So thank you, Miss Lynn, for all those 20 plus years. I absolutely loved working for you. And this is just a sample of her caring for all of you, and those of you that are not even here, for everyone. She really tried to bring all of you together, and I appreciate that.
And Miss Barbara was always an excellent choreographer, and I think everyone's favorite was the original Lion King ballet, right? But you were excellent in the film, always. And I'm so glad you pulled it all the way down. And your birthday's coming up this month, right?
And I
I said, yeah, sure. I drove down from Florence every week. And she told Miss Lynn, my sister's really a good tap dancer. Well, I get up there, and I'm tapping away, trying to follow, and Lynn goes to her, she's terrible. Yes, she did. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. But, yeah, I heard you. But the outcome was, by the end of the dance year, she said I was the most improved dancer, so thank you, Miss Lynn, for that one.
Now, ladies, Erin Ambler is the oldest student. She has a 21-year-old daughter. She's going to be 50. She's the oldest student. And she drove down from Connecticut.
I won't be too long, but given now that I'm labeled the oldest student, I can't resist. So I have this one very strong memory that stands out, and I really need your help. If anybody can let me know. Miss Lynn shared the story with you that she had a student stomp her foot at her. Did anybody hear that story? Good, and it's not all in vain. I can't even remember. I'm sure you remember, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, if I stomped your foot?
I stomped my foot at you because I was all upset.
One time, yeah.
Yes.
Wow, yeah.
So I never lived it down after that. And so my mother would come. Did you know what she did? She stomped her foot at me. Year after year after year. She stomped her foot at me. Are you going to stomp your foot at me? The second memory was when she had her babies, and she was very, very excited when she came home, and literally, she stepped out of the hospital and looked like $1 million, and she said, look, I'm in my pants. I just came home from the hospital today. I'm wearing my pants. Size 4, size 2, whatever it was. You look pretty good. Never forget that. But she gave me some good pointers, and she always stuck with me with how to present myself. And always smile and put on a good show and let the show go on. So thank you, Ms. Lynn.
I forgot about that stomping.
Good thing I had that glass of wine. I was 3 when I started at the dance studio, so I'm just shy of that 4 years. And what's funny is that we're sitting around talking at work over the weekend, on Friday rather, and we're, well, what's everybody doing over the weekend? Everybody's going apple picking, pumpkin picking, and I said I have my dance school reunion on Sunday. And it's not like I walk around talking about I went to dance school. You know, my coworkers may not know. And they said, well, what do you mean your dance school reunion? You're still in dance school. It's like high school reunion. Well, it's hard to explain what all of this has meant to me throughout my life. I'm nervous. It's fun.
Sing Halloween.
Right? And I
You
think
only lip synced in the, in the chorus. No one ever did real talking.
I did. You just couldn't hear me. I wasn't right. And I think the people I started when I was 3, I was never one of these competitive dancers. Oh, well, everybody's experience with dance now has to do with Abby Lee and competitions out on the TV, and it's not, doesn't exist like that, sure, I'm trying to explain to them, but I went to dance class maybe once a week, maybe there were times I was there 5 days a week. And to me, this relationship I have with dance, with music, with musicals, with the friendships that I have made over these years, and who can turn around and say they've known people, they've had friends for 27 years of their life. So they're all looking at me like, so why are you going to this reunion? Are you still there? And I say, well, no, we're celebrating, we're enjoying that we have this as part of our lives. Most, my little crew over here knows, but people may not know, I have a nearly 2-year-old. And she just started dance. And my husband, again, is one of these people who's, I don't want this competition, I don't want that experience with her. And I said, well, maybe she'll want it, maybe she won't. But my wish for her is that she gets out of this what I got out of it. that I can turn around and say I have friends that I've known for most of my life, that I loved going there, that even if things were rocky in any other place in my life, I had dance, I had my friends there. So for that I say thank you, for always having that for me, and for it being such a fond memory.
Well, it's true about the dancing school friends, because I have my friends from dancing school, from Nikki Simon, for 60 years. 60 years I have. Now, Michelle Sandler I met at dancing school. She couldn't be here. She was one of our teachers. She has her grandson's birthday in California. And Mr. Bob I've known also for 60 years, and Elaine Marks, 60 years. So there's nothing like dancing school friends. All right, who would like to be next? I really am appreciating all this. I can't tell you how excited I am to see all of you, and I'm just having such a wonderful time.
Hi, I'm Noelle. I'm the girl Miss Lynn had to kick out of class once a week for the entire time I was there. One of the funniest stories that I can remember is Miss Lynn making us take those tests on pajama day. I think that was the day.
Yeah, Martin Luther King weekend.
Okay. So I remember one time, one of the questions was, what year was 42nd Street made, or whatever. And Renata, one of the girls that we danced with, wrote 1776. Miss Lynn laughed for like a solid 15 minutes. And then another memory I have is that chair that she had in the room, that when you sat on it, you felt like you were falling backwards off of a bridge or something. So on the last day that the studio was open, I got the privilege of rolling that chair to the ground. Pulling it out. It was the worst chair ever. We all sat on it and knew that feeling, right?
Yeah. Well, you said sure.
So those are my memories.
Well, some of the memories are pretty weird, aren't they? But she forgot to say after I laughed, I ripped up the paper and threw it. Well, one time I gave Alex the test about the name 3 famous choreographers. So he writes down John Lennon, songwriters. What did I say, choreographer? All right, what did you say, John Lennon? Yeah, I said no. Those are not the answers. It's George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, and Cole Porter. You got it wrong. All right, who else would like to talk? All right, way back there. Rosemary Glancy. Now, Rosemary Glancy was 5 years old when she was my student in 1979. She was 5 years old, do the math. And then I had her 2 daughters.
So I was very fortunate enough to have my 2 daughters, one be at Bayshore for 9 years and one be at Bayshore for 5 years, in addition to my memories. So my best story is, and we're also still with Miss Lynn over at the Middletown studio. So we're very grateful that she's still in our lives and that my girls get to see her every week. But my favorite story is, I only went to Bayshore for a short time because I actually broke my kneecap and I never danced again. And I remember my mother took me on picture day with my crutches and my calves, and you posed me so you couldn't see the calves. And I had my pictures, but I was probably like 10 when I stopped dancing, and I walked in there in my 30s with a 2-year-old in my hand. I opened the door and she looked at me and she said, 1979. She remembered my mother, she remembered what time I went to class and everything for. And I mean, it must have been 20-something years later with a baby in my arms, and then that was it. So we rejoined Bayshore again, and happy to be here today. So.
All right, who's next? Kara Mitchell. Alexander needs to be here.
Hello, everyone.
My name is Kara. What's yours?
You introduced me already, but my name's Kara. So my story is about, I took Saturday morning class with Miss Lynn, and our dance was to Little Shop of Horrors. So she had a plant in the studio, and each week we would take turns watering the plant. Fast forward about 5 years, we find out that the plant is fake. Longer, but we watered that plant weekly. Even not in that class, anyone who works the front desk waters. I have so many memories that I can't, like, they're all flooding in my head now, so I just wanted to share that very funny story with you all.
And then one September, when we came back after the summer, he said, wow, this plant really grew. I thought it was real.
Wow, this is really like, I was telling Kara before that I really miss being on stage, but this is actually kind of nerve-wracking. My mom loves to recall when her and my Nana came in to sign me up. I was 2.5, and we were greeted. I can't remember at the time if it was Lillian or Marion, but my mom always says how excited she was, to go through the whole dance here, and we sang all the songs at home, and my mom knew the steps same as I did, and one of my favorite times of year was actually getting measured for costumes, because you knew that show was coming, and you'd get called out of class, you would get your measurements, and Marianne would write them down, and then, costume day was so exciting, there would just be sequins and feathers and glitter everywhere. So very fond memories there. The old studio always smelled like Pepper's Parlor that was next door. So that's kind of something that I think all of us remember. But one of my other just really fond memories is when we did Gypsy, I begged and begged to be Electra. I just thought it would be so exciting to have like those lights and just to do something that was completely out of character for me because I was a little bit shy. And I feel like that was one of the first times that, Miss Lynn really pushed me to get out there, and I remember kind of the girls, a lot of them at this table, saying, shake it and do more. So I feel like, if not for those moments being on stage, I wouldn't be able to do some of this and just stand up in front of people like I do with my job now and just to be able to look out on you guys. So anyway, thank you, Miss Lynn. I still dance around the house. I was trying on costumes yesterday. I have them all. And, thank you.
Remember when I used to line you up at the other end of the room and I'd stand at the other end and you'd have to talk really loudly? And if you said light, you'd have to repeat the sentence. Remember? No, I'm sure you. No cell phones. All right, who would like to be next?
Speech all over again, where like I panicked 5 minutes before because I didn't actually write anything down, and then I just like blur a bunch of words that don't actually make any sense. So I feel like I pretty much grew up at the studio. I feel like I grew up, I made my closest friends. I had the happiest moments, the biggest temper tantrums you'll ever think of, storming out of class, crying. I remember there was that one summer class that I took with, I think it was the first year that Tina and Cheyenne were there, and I didn't want my mom to watch, so I did the performance and she was peeking in the side, and I did the routine and then I stopped uncontrollably. And then, I think that was the same week that Cheyenne accidentally hit me in the face with a cane. So there were some pretty good memories there. But one of my favorite, I know, right? Good memories, I know. One of my favorite, speaking of that chair, Noelle, so for Valentine's Day, Sandy would always send over a heart-shaped pepperoni pizza. And we always somehow luckily had class on Valentine's Day, so we always got some of that heart-shaped pizza. And it just happened so many years in a row that Miss Lynn knew what to expect. So one day the pizza arrived and she was like, oh, they didn't cut it. This is outrageous. Let me get my purse, and whips out a pizza cutter. So that was I think it was in that chair though, so it was like she flew back. But yeah, that was really quite something. One of my fondest memories. But yeah, there were just so many. I think my very first musical comedy class, we had to take the summer class, Intro to Musical Comedy, before you could take the class. And then I think my first year was crazy for you. And all I remember about that dance is you had to teach us how to walk like a cowboy. And that's what I take away from that entire. I still. So that's one of my favorite. But I also, that was my first, and then last, doing, I don't even remember, I was Reno Sweeney.
Anything goes.
Anything goes, and I just remember feeling so confident in that role. You had so much faith in me in that, and then I got to it, and I remember that I didn't practice any of the words, or any of the lyrics. So I was dancing my heart out, and I think it was you, I don't even remember who said it to me, but they were like, next time don't just say watermelon over and over again. Watermelon, 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 watermelon. Someone told me if you just say a word out loud, it makes it look like you're singing anyway. And so I think if anyone has that film, you look at me and I'm just repeatedly saying watermelon. So that is my big
Wait, but I think I taught most of you how to walk. I remember so many tap ladies coming through the door and you didn't know how to walk, so we had to walk across the room. Now I'm teaching people how to angle when they take their photos a certain way. All right, who would like to go next? Come on, there's so many memories.
Erin Morgan, what are you doing? Hi, I'm Erin Corey, formerly Erin Moore. I just had a couple of quick things that they're just sort of piling up at our table and we need to get them out. One is that toilet always used to be running. And Miss Lynn would always say to me, Erin, go jiggle the toilet. And it never stopped running. And I would come back and it'd still be running. She'd say, Erin, go jiggle the toilet again. And I was 8. And eventually they figured out that I was shaking the entire toilet. And she just wanted me to jiggle the handle, but I was detaching it from there was a time, my mom used to drive Lori home and Miss Lynn used to drive me home. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you remember when you got pulled over?
Yes.
She got pulled over for swerving for the ride. And the cop thought that she was drinking. And she said, Officer, I have not been drinking. I have been teaching dancing school all day. This is my student. You can ask her. And he's like, ma'am, she looks about 9. It was just back and forth, back and forth. I must have gave you a warning.
No, I didn't get a ticket. But
No.
I think that
I think I'm scared. But yeah, and then just, I don't know, the last thing I wanted to say was that my love of musical theater started really early, and it started with you. It started watching you guys at this table doing Singing in the Rain. Which one of you was Singing in the Rain?
it was Julie.
Oh, Julie.
Julie.
Yeah,
Julie. She played Don Juan.
Yes, watching Julie do that, I was just like, oh my God, I want to do this. And it was with Miss Lynn that she kind of realized that I could sing and act, maybe I could do more. And you started taking me to Paper Mill Playhouse. Do you remember that? We said, well, Lori came too, but you used to take me to I don't know.
Sean Flowers, that was at the student theater.
Oh, okay.
It runs.
All right, now Paper Mill. But you used to take me to shows because you kind of pulled me up. Okay, this is the thing here. And so I did musical theater until I was in my mid-20s, and now I go to almost every musical that opens on Broadway. Yes, I kind of try to be the lead out for those
It
first.
always gets free tickets now.
I know she does. So anyway, I wanted to thank you for that, because without you, I never would have found it. So thank you.
Hazlet. They had no idea where they were. Who was that? I didn't think. on time. We started the class on time, ended up, if you came 2 minutes late for your picture, you missed it.
Hi, my name is Brittany, and I've known Miss Lynn since I was 2 and a half. I was her student for 21 years. I'm going to be 30 in December. She still calls me all the time. She knows that I'm terrible at keeping in touch with people, so she always calls me to see how I'm doing, which I really love. One thing that I truly love about Miss Lynn and this is studio with Miss Marianne and Miss Barbara is that when I started there, I was extremely shy and terrified of everything and people. That my mom told Miss Lynn that, you know, if you need to correct her, approach her gently, she's fragile, she cries. And I was terrified of Miss Lynn. If she used to look at me, I used to start crying. She never gave up on me. She helped me become confident in myself. She used to always yell at me that I didn't talk loud enough, I didn't say anything. But then, just from her, Miss Marianne and Miss Barbara, teaching me to have confidence in myself and everything. Now, Miss Lynn had always complained that I didn't stop talking, and she was terrified of the things that would come out of my mouth because I completely lost my filter. But I love Bayshore. I made a lot of great friends there, and I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you.
Brittany graduated to be a tab lady, and she did say a lot of inappropriate things. But it was all adults, so it was okay. Who else would like to come up? Stephanie Martinez.
Hi everybody, I'm Stephanie, or Amanda's mom, because everybody knew Amanda and I was known as Mom until I started sitting at the desk to offset her tuition because it was way too much for the amount of time she spent in the studio. So Lynn graciously said, why don't you sit at the desk and we'll barter? Which, thank you for that, Miss Lynn. It gave her the opportunity to be there 4 days a week. One thing I haven't heard anybody mention, and it's 2 little words, French fries. What happened, people? I was sitting at the desk and order my dinner from next door, or drop dinner off for Amanda from the pizza place. Lynn would be in the middle of class and I'd go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lynn come out, where's the French fries? Where's the French fries? Can I have your French fries? I'm taking your French fries. So, a little memory. When Sandy was taken from all of us and we went to sit shiva with Miss Lynn, the tradition is to bring sweets. And that group of Bayshore girls said, you can't bring Miss Lynn sweets, she will have plenty. We are bringing her French fries. So I can't believe she'd come back from the beach, she goes, I walked on the boardwalk and I stole everybody's French fries. So there was always a French fry story. So thank you, Miss Lynn, for giving us many laughs. And the other thing she did was she made me do something one year that I was extremely, extremely uncomfortable doing. The year my daughter was a senior, she got the bright idea that some of the parents that had been with her for a long time with a lot of these senior girls should be part of the show. I don't have a problem speaking, but performing's a whole nother thing. So she made me help do the opening to one of the 42nd Street numbers.
Yeah, the overture. Yeah.
What is it?
42nd Street.
I was for 42nd Street, but where they
dimes,
find the
the
dimes.
dimes,
Where you find the dimes. I was on stage all about 3 minutes, and for 2 days I had panic attacks before I had to get on that stage. But she made me do, and we pulled it off. Thank you, Miss Lynn.
It's really true about the French fries because still to this day at the beach, I steal people, total strangers, give me their French fries. Really. I mean, it's all true. And when you did that number, Stephanie, the curtain was closed because your daughter and all the students didn't know you were doing it. Chris, remember you were in it? And the curtain was closed, and the kids behind didn't know, and they didn't see it until it was on the video. Lee, do you want to talk? What about you? Well, Lee grew up at the studio. She danced before she could walk or talk. Well, no, because I had to hold her and it was always uppy. I held her through the whole rhythm and movement class when she was 2.
Not after 6 p.m.
Lawrence's comment is that I was home with Monica, because I wasn't allowed to the night shows since I was too young. I did not prepare anything. This sounds familiar from like 2 weeks ago. I didn't prepare anything. Mom has been talking about this for 4 years. So she hasn't stopped every day for 4 years and made me do all the Facebook stuff. But secretly I love it, so. Anyway, so she's so grateful that every single person is here, and I'm sure she hounded a lot of you on the phone to call, like she was calling you to register for dance class. But and Mom, they're not signing up, they're just coming to a party. I think she was thinking she was taking registration. And then there would be dance class here.
And I even put those in. Oh, look, here's the index cards.
I was just thinking about the index cards.
I don't think that, actually I don't know what I was going to say, but my whole life I guess wouldn't be the same without every person in this room, because I guess this is my whole life. And I feel like it still is, even though the studio hasn't been in existence for 5 years. But I think I'll never forget the surprise that I guess I don't think Lori really helped, but that I did for the 30th, when everyone came out on stage to the March of the Siamese. Mom's face was priceless, and I don't think she ever expected such a beautiful gift. So for everyone who came for that, it was so beautiful. And I think she's so grateful that everyone's here, and I'm sure she won't stop talking about it, and I don't know what she's going to talk about after this. So.
Oh, I know, my 70th birthday.
Okay, I really didn't prepare anything, so nothing's that heartwarming. Sorry. Listen, you know the studio was our whole lives. I mean, the entire family, the 4 of us, revolved our entire lives around the studio. And to this day, I still answer the phone on a half a ring. So it says to me, no one is calling to register. You don't have to run to the phone. Remember, I would climb over people to get to that phone in a half a ring. Heather.
I'd like to say something when you're done. I'm done.
The school has the husband come out with the bow tie and the cummerbund and talk about the Yankees and the air conditioning and close the bed. We still do all right, so when I went to Melody School the first year to teach, the teachers, I went to the dress rehearsal and they're putting down the tape on the floor on the stage. I lost it. I cried hysterically because that's what Lori and Lee used to do, put the tape on the floor. So Melody had me push a button for the curtain. I was backstage helping, and she gave a speech, but in back of the curtain. And after she finished the speech, I yelled, "Up with the curtain! No, no!" And I had to explain to her that that's what Sandy always said. Second show comes, I do the same thing. I just couldn't help saying, "Up with the curtain." And Lawrence uses that expression all the time. So, you know, there's just such wonderful memories.
All right, Heather.
Bayshore Academy the year after, Miss Lynn saying to her, "Well, why did you go there? Why did you start here? Your aunt dances here. Why did you go there first?" And I said, my mother said, "I don't know. That's just what I chose to do." So from there I've been. And I know many of you have asked me today, are you still dancing? Are you still teaching? And I'm not, because I would never find another home that Bayshore Academy was. I danced up until I graduated high school, and then forward into college. And then Miss Lynn graciously asked me to come on as a teacher. And from there, I hope I shared the love of dance to many of my students that I see here. It was a big part of my life, and I just want to thank Miss Lynn. And all of my dances started from way back.
And Marianne started in 1980, and I never let her forget it. And she didn't start in 1979. Right there, I never let her forget that it started a year later. Who else would like to come up?
I've had a long weekend. I've been at 3 church services this whole weekend. Now I'm talking again. One of the great memories that I've had. Do you remember the year that I came out really interested in the old lady shuffle? And then he had to teach Jessica Philness for Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes, yes,
So I
yes.
went like this here, coming out, sliding my legs, and I never forgot that. She said, you have to learn how to walk out properly. So I practiced the following year, and I came out nonchalant. And I did that every year thereafter until we closed. So, but as to the test that the girls used to take in musical comedy, and if they were absent, they had to do a makeup test, and they had to come out by my desk to do the makeup class, and then they would ask me, what's the answer? What's the answer? I would have to grade the test, and a lot of times I said, I can't tell you the answer. Think about it. We talk about it every week in class. And then still are some of the answers that they used to write down. We would laugh so hard that we almost wet our pants. But it was just a wonderful time at Bayshore, seeing everyone that I saw as a little girl and now they're grown up. And you have children of your own, and hopefully they are all dancing too at some point. And it's just wonderful to see such wonderful faces. And the moms that are here too, that I used to see in the waiting room, keeping me company while I typed on that typewriter.
What about all the handwritten
And the handwritten notes, and everything I did by hand. And yes, all those postcards, you still have the files?
No, I threw away all the vintage sorts.
I thought you kept a couple.
I
just
kept
for
the last year. I kept the last year.
Yeah, for posterity, yeah. So it was just a lot of fun, just having a great time and seeing how everybody came together and became one huge family. And that's what we were, one huge family. Starting from when I started in 1980 until 2014. Yeah, 2014. So it's been a wonderful experience to see everyone, to see how much you all have accomplished. I mean, I can't be any prouder that you've all done. You're amazing, amazing people, amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you. Marianne used to go beautifully. I think through the years you really got good at public speaking.
I have to now.
But every year Marianne and I would try to invent a better way to do the system because, everything was handwritten, Alex knows because one year I had him, after Al died, he was in charge of tickets. And Alex couldn't understand why we had a list for every class, then an alphabetical list, and then how many tickets they bought, the date they bought the tickets, flip the page, the same thing for the other show, how many, what year. I mean, he didn't understand the system, but he still teases me about it. Anyone else? Dana.
I'm here to speak for the moms, and like Ms. Marianne said, it wasn't just the studio for the girls. They came and they danced, the moms dropped them off, whatever, and danced. But a lot of us stayed, talked to the people at the desk, watched the other kids dance, peek into the classes, even though my daughter was in the other room. It was just a really nice place to be. And I still have friends, I'm still friends with many people that I just met sitting there at the tap ladies putting their tap shoes on when I was waiting for me to come out. But what I really remember is that first year that my daughter started. She started when she was 10. She had been dancing for 7 years somewhere else. And mid-year, we just it wasn't right. So looking around, and my friends had already started looking at Bayshore. Her daughter wasn't really sure if she wanted to go there, but I called her and I said, Marie, I'm bringing you over. You want to bring Beth back? And actually, I think I came in, I told you that Beth told us, Marie told us about you. And that, I said, well, Beth's supposed to come. So we called to make sure she was coming. They both went into Lori's tap class, and they came out ready for your ear. We signed up, it was March. And so the costumes had already been ordered. And she was like, don't worry, we'll get them in, we'll get the costumes for them, we'll get them in inside. but only for that one class, because they also took Miss Barber's class, Laura Barber. And you were doing Peter Pan. And they were in your class, they learned the dance, but they couldn't, perform that mermaid dance. But you made sure that they were lost boys. And so I lost girl, lost boy. Last year, her and Kim, were there the last year. That was their senior year. So they were able to graduate at the 35th. They put together a dance with their friends in honor of Lynn and all the teachers. And I still so happy, so proud. But my favorite memory of you was when I walked in there and they were dancing. And he was like, well, how do you pronounce your name? I said, he goes, is it Dana or Dana? I said, oh, you know, like, how do you pronounce Dana? I said, yes, that's how I pronounce my name. And she goes, well, that's my daughter's middle name, Lee. And you got it from the Dana...
The Dana Girl Mystery Series.
The Dana Girl Mystery Series was, sorry? But if you read them, right? I said, no, I haven't read them yet. You have to read them, so that's my memory of Lynn. It's always about the person. And the dance, even though everybody there loved it, and I loved your method of musical comedy, where it was like we saw the whole show, the whole second act. That was my favorite part, because whether you knew the show or not, you got to see and hear the narration in between while the girls were changing costumes instead of just sitting there going, when's the next dance going to come? There was a flow, and everything was fantastic. I love you all. Thank you so much.
This table, remember the year we did Grease and you wore my baby doll pajamas from the 1960s? Well, I wore a pair the other day. Alex says, they're ripped. I said, I don't care, I'm just wearing it for the memory. I actually wore, it still said Lynn Ruth Leibowitz in the name tag from, they're over 50 years old. I still have one pair. But remember, when we had to change the costumes and Sandy would do the narration in those years and he said, oh, they sent out for pizza. Remember? He had a stall and he would say, oh, they're changing the costumes they sent out for pizza. And you learned more than dance at the studio. Don't you remember if you worked at the desk and you learned how to address an envelope and where to put the stamp? All right, Carrie King.
Yes. Oh yeah, you got fired.
So, when I was in dance school, I used to be so excited to be one of the old-timers, and now that ring does not have the same tone that it did 20 years ago. Just to be clear, I was very excited when I was 17 and I was an old-timer, and now I'm like, crap. I actually never got excited about getting measured for costumes each day, right? That was like the worst day of the year for me. But Miss Lynn always made all of us any size or shape. Feel welcome. And this is very emotional because I think Miss Lynn did so much more than she did so much more than just dance. She taught us, in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, women didn't know how to, I didn't see, at least at home, a healthy, loving relationship between a husband and a woman. And to have your husband be okay with being called Mr. Lynn and to be supportive of your dreams and what was passionate to you at a time when women were still trying to figure out their way was tremendous. And so Bayshore Academy Dance did so much more than just transform us with music. You taught us how to have healthy marriages, and you and Sandy were tremendous in that way to me. And that's one of those things that you don't really get as a kid, but you look back and you're like, wow, he was amazing. And but you guys were role models more than just how great you looked in your leotard, and I'm still jealous. I will never be that, right? But you and Sandy were tremendous, and you really taught something that we weren't there to really learn, but through what you did and how you modeled it, you taught us that, and so I treasure that to this day. So please know how important you both were to me. And Miss Lynn also taught me, I retired after 20 years in the Navy, but I can tell you, 20 years with a lot of men, and no one can command a room like this woman. I love you very much.
Well, remember people used to time the kiss with Sandy? Remember? One time I went to the library and the librarians, I don't know how the librarians knew, but they were talking about how long was the kiss this year. And I don't know if you knew this, but Sandy and I used to hide backstage before the show so that no one would yell at us. You know, in those years when people would be fighting for seats or whatever, we used to hide backstage. And then we used to practice all year for that kiss. That's how come we were able to hold it for so long. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, that's...
Jenny, I'm serving in the Air Force right now, 10 years. And to go along with you, it's just absolutely amazing. You served 20 years in the Navy, and I'm going to serve 20 years in the Air Force. And I got to say, you and me, we absolutely know how much Bayshore Academy Dance and all the instructors gave us. It's very hard for a woman in the military. It's absolutely ridiculous, but because of dance, I've never been stronger in my life. It's insane. It's harder to get a bunch of girls to dance and be teenagers and not rip each other's heads off. It is harder to do that than it is to actually be in the military for me. But I'm making it through the ranks. I'm able to do everything simply because of all those years I spent with them. Every single year, you guys made me confident, just ready for anything. And one of the biggest memories is Sandy. I remember before you let me go into musical comedy, I had to smile. And there were so many times I went in there because I would not smile. And Sandy would look at me every time I came in. He's like, you have to smile. He wouldn't let me leave until I smiled. And he actually, smiling comes very easy to people, but he actually taught me to smile for everyone else. And then I got into go to musical comedy and everything else, and it was absolutely wonderful. I got to be in Valley Ensemble. I got to dance with Miss Marianne, Miss Barbara, you, and it's the most fantastic thing in the world, and it has made me a successful, sergeant today. And it's just so wonderful. Funny story too. I remember when I was a child and being in the dance room one day, he came in and started yelling at me. You're like, Lee, why are you here? Lee, why are you here? And I finally looked up and I'm like, Miss Lynn, it's Jenny. She always confused me and her daughter because we looked identical growing up. It was funny. And then my mom just told me a story too, which is funny. So she worked behind the desk every now and then to help people lessons. And I guess you used to kick the wall to get her attention. So she told me that story, so it's pretty funny. But I know for my life and my career, I'm going to be very successful, and I love it already. And I'm so happy to be here with another serving military member.
There's a plaque of Jenny over there if anyone wants to see it. But Alex thinks I'm absolutely insane and crazy because I was telling him some of the stories. When we had the studio on Poole Avenue when Delia Antanasio was the receptionist, the heating, the thermostat was in the other room. So if it was too hot, I could stick out a green piece of paper. If it was too cold, I put a red, who does these things? Insane! I had these weird things knocking on the wall twice, and Marion would come running in, or whoever was at the desk would have to come running in if I knocked twice on the wall. What is this? I don't know. Miranda? Miranda and Alexa. These two are the youngest here today. Oh, and Avery, the three of you.
So hi, a lot of you probably don't know me because I'm extremely young. I'm still in high school, but I'm Miranda. So I have a different approach to everybody's talking about old time and stuff, but it's weird because I still see Miss Lynn every single weekend because when the studio closed, everybody else kind of quit and stuff, but I was like, I love Miss Lynn, she's so special to me, so I tried to follow her, And every week I go to jazz and Miss Lynn does her tap ladies. And I always give her a hug and she goes, look at how good I look at my leotard. It looks so great. I've had this one for like 25 years. And it just makes me so happy to see her every week. It just puts me in good mood. But I have one funny story from the studio. So I only danced at the studio until I was in 6th grade. And I was a desk assistant my 6th grade year. And Miss Lynn, I sat at the desk one week and I was like, all right, like, am I filling out papers or anything? And she hands me this bottle of nail polish over and she goes, you're taking off my nail polish this week. And I was stunned. I didn't know what to do. It was like this, and she goes, all right, just start. And I was so stunned. So that's what I have to say. And Miss Lynn, I love you.
Yeah, I ran out of things for her to do, so I
Yeah, well, I ordered the fake plant too. Alright, so Alexa wants to talk to you, but thank you, Miss Lynn, I love you.
Like Miranda, I'm also very young, so I do kind of have a stage approach where I only was there till I was in 6th grade, just like Miranda, where we go to school together in the same grade. And although I didn't get to take her nail polish off or water the fake plant, I still remember, like, walking in today, seeing the tiny TV that we all used to gather around, and like people would have to lay on the floor, and we'd have to study the musical comedy films in order to learn what we had to look like or do. And even though, you know, being in 6th grade, I don't think we ever completely got to look like the people in Anything Goes, I still just carry this with me, and I'm so impacted by the great community and just the good times. It's not just, well, we all have dance in common and we all do love dance. I think the most important thing that I got at was the sense of community and just being surrounded by people who actually genuinely care about you so much, no matter if you're like the best dancer or the worst dancer. And it just was, walking in today just really brought me back to what everyone, you know, what the community was, and just how everyone, no one was judging you, no one was making fun of you. Well, Miss Lynn kind of made fun of you sometimes. I don't think anyone, obviously besides family and loved ones, really cared about their dancers or their kids more, because we're all Miss Lynn's kids. So, thank you, Miss Lynn.
What about the time the 3 girls walked into the studio, up to the desk, very slowly holding hands and said, Miss Lynn, we killed Mickey Rooney. Because I had shown an old Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland video, and then he died. And they, yeah, at least they knew who he was. You know. Anyone else? Ann, is that you? Yes. Oh, I'm so good to see you. It's wonderful to see you. Would anyone else like to talk? Alicia? Do you have your tissues? Oh my God. Alicia Gordon and her stage presence. Oh my God.
Hi. So, I'm Alicia Gordon. I've actually danced with Miss Lynn for over 20 years, so I've had the honor and privilege of sharing the stage with most of the people. I am just really in awe of what a room full of such, you know, talented and successful and confident women. That you don't see that all the time, and I think we all have Miss Lynn to thank for that, first and foremost. But as far as my memories of Bayshore, there's been quite a few. Like that time that I came in at the dress rehearsal on crutches. Just to mess with you. Didn't break anything, I just thought it would be funny. It was. I think you picked like 6 colors of purple, that was something. I'm also the one who stuffs my bra with socks because I was cast as Motormouth Mabel and I wasn't really well endowed. I'm still not, but you know, I mean it worked. Let's
see you at the time that Kelly lost her pants in the dress rehearsal.
That's right, I did.
Completely ruined the whole crowd. That was terrific as well. I have a lot to thank my mom for. My mom actually doctored up every single costume I ever had. She put pockets in my teen angel costume. By the way, Celia, you don't know me, but I remember you from when I was in the little girl class, and I watched your teen angel number. And I
That was her white jeans with zippers on them.
Yes.
Stylish. Yeah.
I got the Elvis costume. So mom was kind of cool. I had my mom made a cape for me. She put a thing on the back, she put pockets in the costume, so I glitter everything. And I know that Noelle, I think, used that idea too for something. You had glitter Chicago. Oh, you had glitter in the pocket. And I remember you asking me about that. I don't have enough good things to say about you, Miss Lynn. I think all of us can say that we've kind of been impacted by you, and you've made us all really like confident people. And I think that's kind of a big deal. Not too many people can say that they have somebody in their life that they can look up to like that. And not only that, I feel like a lot of us have really good relationships with our mothers too because of that. I don't know about everybody else, but my mom was always really involved with dance. She never missed a single rehearsal. She never missed a single recital. She was there for every single one. So thank you. Thanks, Mom. I don't know if I ever thank you for that. Thank you for paying for all of that, too. Which I know is cost a small fortune. Not a lot of people have that fortune. So thank you to all the moms. I have to forget about them every now and then, but thank you. But yeah, my time with Miss Lynn was phenomenal. Like I said, I've gotten to share the stage with most of you. I don't think everybody knows me, but I remember everybody. So cool. Thanks, guys.
There's some other funny memories we have with costumes. Wasn't it in the producers? Yeah, that was really funny. You didn't get in trouble with me. I was okay with it. It was another mother complained. So, would anyone else like to talk before we do the group photos? Chris, Coke-Beer, and then Cam. Cam, you can go first. Cam, everyone about it.
I've known Miss Lynn for 28 years, and I was a tab lady. And to this day, I have not met anybody that can say that they wore an old lady's wig, a dress coat, and dance with a walker. We had so much fun. And I'm also known as the mom who used to iron her kids' costumes. Miss Lynn used to make mention of that every year. Miss Lynn, there is nobody that can replace you. You will always be Miss Lynn. God bless.
Chris Coke-Beer.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I am one of the tap ladies, and I really have nothing prepared, but I remember when my daughter was 4 years old and in kindergarten, I decided that she needed to take a dance class. So somebody mentioned Bayshore Academy of Dance, and I called, and it was in the summer, so I got an answering machine. And I thought, well, I'll never hear back. Sure enough, Miss Lynn called me back, and I was in total shock. I just couldn't believe she actually listened to my message and called me back. And I said, well, I have a daughter, and going back and forth between gymnastics or dance, and she's like, you cannot put her in gymnastics. Gymnastics stops your growth. You have to put her in
Because I just said that to someone last week. Someone wanted to send their graduate.
I said, okay, so Noelle started in dance class, and she came home after the first week, and she said, Mommy, Miss Lynn wants my feet to go like this. I said, wow, well, good luck with that, Noelle. She stuck with it. She was nervous, she was shy, she was very young. Her birthday's in September, and I think it cut off in New Jersey is October 1st. So she was a little young. But when she got on that stage the first year, and they did all dolled up, she got off the stage and she said, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And she did all through high school, and she became more of a social butterfly than anything else. She wasn't seriously into dance like some of the girls, but I remember her getting on stage for one of the ballet ensemble numbers, and I see this beautiful, graceful girl leaping across the stage. And I'm like, wow, that's really nice. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's Noelle. And Miss Barbara did an amazing job with those girls. I mean, I just can't believe the gracefulness that my daughter danced with on that stage was just amazing. And Miss Lynn, she's one of my best friends. We're tap ladies together. We still dance together.
Yeah, we're in a show next month.
Yes. She just cares about me. She cares about all of us. All the tap ladies, we're all friends. We all care about each other. We're all there for each other. We're in texts together. Yeah. It was just a wonderful experience for me and for my daughter. I worked the desk. I loved all the kids on Wednesday nights. They were there for 3 hours, some of them, for Tina and Cheyenne's classes, and it was just a big family for me. It was a second home. I loved it. Did a great job with my daughter, taught her a lot. And Mary Ann, I danced with Mary Ann for many years in her adult jazz class, and I used to call it Mary Ann's House of Pain. Have us on the floor, all stretched out. And I mean, in just these amazing twisted pretzel positions. And then she would get up and she'd start walking towards you, and you'd be like, oh no, here she comes. She's going to push me down further. She's going to make me stretch where nobody's ever stretched before. It's just, oh, we had so much fun in that class. We had so much fun in the tap class, and it was just the whole thing was just amazing. And I'm so sorry it's over, but it's really not over. It's changed, yes. It's just evolved into something else. So thank you for all the minutes.
Speaking of people looking alike, what Jenny was saying about Lee and Jenny, because they used to wear their hair back for ballet, and Sandy would be videoing, and he couldn't tell which one was Jenny and which one was Lee. It's really true. Would anyone else like to come up? Joyce? And then Marie?
What's so funny? Hi everyone, I'm Joyce, wonderful tap lady. That's not how I started in this. I actually won a season of tap with Miss Lynn. I was dancing all my life. I started when I was 2 and a half, but not here. And I hadn't danced officially in a dance class in a long time. And our temple had a service auction, and I kept bidding and bidding, and there was a man bidding against me. He had a daughter, 5, 6 years old, who wanted to have her dance. And I said, no, I want it. And I said, if she doesn't have a dance, then I'll redeposit it to the temple as a contribution, and you could bid it up. Well, I won it. And instead of waiting until it happened in September, I took belly dancing, which we didn't have too often, and we had it starting in June of 2005, 2004. And it was a class that I met Chris, I met Brittany, I met Pam. And these are people who are part of the tap ladies and continue to be. And with that, of course, Miss Lynn is really part of us. And any way you could get into a Miss Lynn class, I think that was the way to go. And stay with it this way.
Marie Chambers?
Hi, I'm Marie Chambers. I'm Beth's mom, and some girls know my daughter Beth. Nina and all the table over there know my daughter Beth. Thank you for being good friends. Miss Lynn, I thank you for opening up the dance studio. She taught Beth classical ballet and how to walk like a nice lady. Mary Ann, I love you because you taught her tap and jazz. And she did really well with you, and I thank you for the encouragement that you gave Beth, and I thank you for being there when when we need you, and thank you for the talks that we had at the desk together. Miss Barbara, thank you for teaching Beth. She loved your class, and she loved all the costumes that you pick out. I have every single costume that Beth was in the time of the Bella Rosa, Texas, to the very last dance that she had. And thank you very much for all your cooperation and help. You are all beautiful teachers, and thank you very much. And for hip hop and jazz, thank you too. And God bless. And I'm sorry to see the studio closed, because we need more dance teachers like you.
We're going to go to the group table pictures, but while we take a turn for each table, we'll turn the video on and the DVD. Now we have CDs. I always get it confused to this day. And you can look through the photograph albums. The photograph albums are from the early 80s. After Lori and Lee were born, I didn't have time to put them in albums anymore. And if you didn't sign the memory book, you could do that. All right, how about we start with this table first, and we'll take